10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Well, good evening from beautiful sunny Florida. This is Freethought in Florida. Freethought in Florida is a production of the Atheist community of Polk County. That's a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Today is Friday, April 23rd. I'm Sarah Ray with my co-host Devon Graham, who just literally stopped a truck with her whole damn body the other day, but insisted upon keeping her commitment to the show. Devon, you're a trooper. How are you?
Thanks, y'all. I'm fine. Now I just kind of lost my window. So things are going great here. I can't function. Things are going really well. Really freaking well.
Yeah, Devon holds a thought for about maybe 3 seconds. So that's fun.
It's really difficult. Like at one point today, I was really on, and then I stopped being on. So
yeah,
I don't know. It'll be fine. I'm sure this is gonna be fine.
Hey, why don't you tell us the story of what the hell happened while I get up and turn my lights on that I forgot?
Okay. I'm going to do that while I'm trying to find the screen that I'm supposed to be on. But guys, this is really bad. So I was running. I just got done with a run on Wednesday morning, and
which is a dangerous habit to start with. Let's just start with this. You exercise, people. Oh my God.
I've been trying to get back into running for a really, really long time because I keep on getting injured, and lo and behold, it was just not happening. So wow. I come up to a crosswalk. It's a rather dangerous crosswalk, if you will. We've almost gotten hit there 1,000 times, and I see a truck coming. He's going to get in the turn lane, but I'm like, I've got the right of way. I'm a pedestrian, whatever. And so I just start crossing, and he doesn't see me. He doesn't slow down, and just. And I hit the front end of his hood and his bumper. I flew a few feet off the crosswalk onto the road. There's blood. The man learned a few creative ways to use the F word. And then I don't know. I somehow managed to get over to the side of the road, and the ambulance came and they took me to the ER. So now I have a very purple face. I just figured there's no makeup in the world that can ever
rockstar eye makeup in the chat.
Guys, it's funny because like I'm at the ER. I finally found the window I'm supposed to be looking at. I am not doing well.
Just keep talking. You're fine. And you can't even do that well, right?
I can't even do that.
Your chest has been hurting, and
okay. I can't. I'm going to show you my knee. I'm stuck in bed. Okay, but
here,
this is
let me put you on full screen to get the real full effect.
Yay! That's my one knee.
Damn, girl.
The other knee, actually, it's not that bad. I'm not going to show you that, but this is where I landed.
Shit.
Like that ankle's pretty big right now. I mean, I think my hip and my left knee took the main impact, and obviously my face. But I don't remember that. Like I do not remember that at all. But I bit my lip, and it was like swollen, and this started coming up as I was going home from the hospital. Damn. Like that started showing up, and now the black eye just started because of the the nose. So
we talked a little bit about this last night or whenever that was. Time has no meaning. But like that accident that I was in a couple years ago on my way to work, like I got rear-ended, and I was stopped, and the dude moved me a football field down the road.
I can't believe
and my head hit the steering wheel, and it looked a lot like what your face looks like right now.
Oh yeah, we compared pictures. Yeah, it's exactly what my face is.
And then I remember getting out, once I came to, I remember getting out of the Jeep and just sort of bracing myself on the side of the Jeep. Mm-hmm. And taking a couple deep breaths, what the fuck was that? And I didn't notice the bumper was gone. I didn't notice the back end was all smashed up. And then
the bottom part of your body.
Some dude had stopped and was like, "Hey man, are you okay?" And I'm like, Yeah, no, I think I'm all right. I think and then the ambulance showed up and was like, honey, you are not all right. You are
You
coming
ain't
with
doing it.
us.
Yeah, I had to be forced
Holy
like,
shit.
into the ambulance. It was really crazy. But
But-
my first I know my first thought was like, I hope my teeth are okay, because it's like a nightmare of mine to like
Mm-hmm.
get punched in the face or something and my teeth
Yeah, no, I
explode.
get that. Yeah.
But my teeth are okay, so that's
But
the main.
you did some damage to the truck too.
Apparently I did. I overheard the cop saying to the ER doctor, that, just so you know, she broke blah 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 on the truck. And I'm just, and he's like, how fast was he going? Like 5 miles an hour? He's like, oh no, he was going way over 5 miles an hour. So I don't know. The guy was very apologetic. I expected him to flee, in all honesty, because
Right.
it's like a flight or flight response. Ow, I shouldn't do that with my foot. So yeah, but he pulled over, he helped me. I swore at him up and down,
As you do.
as one does when they almost get run over. And then, but I'm shocked at how many people actually just drove by.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, I know there's like that TV show, What Would You Do or whatever, where like they put actors in situations just to see how people would react.
Yeah.
But like, and like people just throwing down punch and drag out fights on the street, and people are just walking by like,
Oh,
I'm
no, I
glad
don't wanna
that's
get
not in there.
involved.
Yeah,
And I get it if it was a fight, because you could get punched as well.
sure.
But
like
there's
you're
a lady
you're, like,
sitting
on
in the
the
middle of
ground.
the road,
Yeah.
and there's like blood pouring out of my nose onto the road,
yeah. And they're like, oh god, I can't be late for work. Sorry, hope she's okay.
Yeah, some lady was kind of like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Call 911. I don't know what else to do.
Do I look okay?
I'm lying in the middle of a road, so
Right.
yeah, I'm gonna become.
But
one of those
also,
crazy...
like when you're in that position, you don't know whether you're okay or not. Like you're just there,
Yeah.
and your
I just
judgment.
didn't want to break my neck. I'm like, I can move. I can, like, things are moving.
Right.
It's gonna freaking hurt from now on. But
Well, we're glad you're still with us.
I'm here.
The prayer chain has been activated.
Thank you guys.
So
down the
don't
list.
worry, we got you to, you're at the top of the list. The Lord's working on you.
So glad to hear it.
Yep.
He's helped me with a lot these past couple days. So
Right.
yeah.
That's drugs, Devon. Those are drugs.
Oh, I'm done with this.
We want to make sure to stop and thank our wonderful patrons who support the show. Julian Conrad, Devon.
That's me.
Virgil's, if you need to take your Patreon back to like pay your copays and shit, deductibles.
That's what the other guy's
that's
insurance
cool.
is for right now.
Oh, right. But insurance is so effective. Like, again, after your copays and your deductibles and your out of pockets and all of that shit, what's the point? Virgil's Cardboard Box, Todd, and Freethinker 215.
Freethinker 215 is still amongst us.
Be like those awesome people and make a monthly pledge to support the show at patreon.com/polkatheists. There's some bonus goodies that we drop into the Patreon feed. Sometimes after we cut the show, then we shoot the shit for another half hour. And if there's anything good in that, we put that in the Patreon feed. And of course, if you can't do that, that's fine too. But we would love for you to rate and review, share the episodes out far and wide. Get eyes on us, get some people watching, because Florida is a place in need of help.
I feel like Sally Struthers.
Can I get an amen?
Amen. Yeah.
I need to have that clip on like my speed button on my
amen.
On my hotkeys. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Whew.
Good freaking times.
Hey, and if you're watching us on YouTube, do that. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all of those things so that you like get notified when we go live, because I've noticed that sometimes there's a glitch between the software and the stream where sometimes it doesn't work and I have to like abandon the original stream that was programmed in and start a new one. And so if you're watching the old stream, you won't get the new one. But it's not, just hit the bell. Get notified.
It's so confusing.
This is all very complicated. Like
technology shouldn't be this way.
Complicated technology. And we're saving for our replacement computer to
Oh yeah.
to replace this laptop, which is stuck at 57%, and will not
Hasn't
charge
moved.
any higher. It
It's
hasn't
not
moved.
moved.
And we also noticed that. So I made the attempt to try to bump us up to 1080 and like really broadcast the sharp, because all these graphics are my camera's an HD camera. I really want to see that. Yeah,
a close up of the purple.
right, exactly. And we couldn't do that. So I had to like stop all the moving graphics except for the crawl at the bottom. I had to stop all the moving everything. I don't know if the videos are even going to play correctly or have lag. I have no idea. But anyway, go Patreon us, and we'll put that towards a new computer.
Yay!
What do we want to talk about? I'm fucking depressed. Can we talk about that? I don't know. In the middle of the day today, it just like depression will just sneak right up on you and just pop right the back of the head.
Yep.
I was fine all morning. I did school with the kids while Becca went and bought groceries and picked up lunch and did all this running around. And I'm usually not successful. I am not the home teacher. They run all over me. But we had a really great morning. It was awesome. And then and I didn't sleep very well last night. I was feeling kind of like sick to my stomach. So I was up and down all night long. And then I don't know, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I ate lunch, and then I just felt like shit. So I went and laid down, and I fell asleep, and it was just like, boom. Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Yeah, that's how it usually is. It's for me. It's like the past year or two have been like my basal level of depression has like jumped up a lot of notches, and so it's higher than normal, and it's consistent. But like whenever you get the downs, for me, it's always after a high. Like it's not bipolar or anything, but just like you're having a really good, you're on task, you're getting stuff done, things are working out, and then once the curtain closes, it's like, oh shit, this is the worst. I can't move.
I am medicated for my anxiety and depression, and I recommend that you see your doctor if you're struggling with those things, and if they recommend medication, do it, because it the way I'm feeling today is not nearly what it was unmedicated, and you have to remind yourself that sometimes too, because you'll go on this long spree of woo, life is good, life is but a dream, shaboom, I'm gonna stop taking my medication today, and that's a bad idea. Don't do that.
Bad idea. It's a bad idea.
Don't do that. That's why you feel so good.
Yeah, because that's for me personally, it just takes the edge off, I guess. So it makes those lows not quite so low. So
normally. So back when we did Sarah Talk regularly on a weekly schedule like this, there would be nights like this where I would just feel like garbage, and I would tell Becca I don't want to do a show this week. I just don't. Now we'd come in here and have a great show, and some of those were the best shows that we ever did.
You can turn it off,
and I would be fine. Once the lights come on and I do, and the music starts playing, I go into my shtick, which is probably what's happened now.
You'll feel like crap later.
But
don't worry.
to push into that's the hard part. The hard part is going you're going to feel fine once you get started. You're going to have a good show. You enjoy doing this. Just go do it. That's the hard part.
Yeah. No, that's depression for you. So,
yeah. And if you're depressed, give us a call. 253-900-2272. Oh, I didn't put it on the thing. Hold on.
Well, two depressed people talking to other depressed people. It's a recipe for success.
We are not licensed. Oh, I'm not licensed. You're you could, if you're a rat, you could call in and Devon could help you with some things.
I can do things.
You can do things. 253-900-2272. And I want to talk about one thing that's not in the show notes briefly. And sorry. And oh, no. And maybe this person wants to call in and talk about it themselves. I don't know. Well, otherwise, I'm going to talk about it vaguely without using any names. So a friend who is part of our community has a 4-year-old child who is starting to, and this isn't recent, over the past year, has started to exhibit signs of not gender dysphoria or whatnot, but like, hey, maybe I don't
Questioning.
quite, yeah, like exploring
Mhm.
gender and expression and identity and all of those things, which is great because mom is super accepting and
Mhm.
supportive and is doing the right thing by
Mhm.
their kid. And so today, I guess there was like a big move forward on like just being able to have that conversation and say, you know, learn it's because it's hard. You have to have these conversations at an age appropriate level, and
Mhm.
that's kind of sometimes difficult to find. And each kid kind of develops
Yes.
differently and all of that stuff, right? So,
Mhm.
is it asking questions like, what? First of all, your feelings are valid. Now,
Mhm.
how can we, as your supportive adult parents in your life, whatever, how can we support you? How can we make you feel more comfortable? How can we
Mhm.
help you learn and express and try things out? And how can we, how can we be a part of that and help you? And then questions like, do like can you describe in more detail how you're feeling? Do
Mhm.
you feel like sometimes you feel like a girl and sometimes you feel like a boy? Do you feel like maybe it's a mix of the two? Do you feel more
Mhm.
one than the other? Like, can you kind of narrow it down? And that just gives you, once you have those answers, it gives you some idea of sort of how to,
Mhm.
take the next couple of steps.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's awesome that the parent is into it
yep.
and accepting because
Oh, it worked! Yes! Yes, it worked! Oh, I got rid of that stupid question mark and the
damn
Satan
it.
devil came on. It worked, Devon, it worked.
That was the devil
It
on?
was the devil. The devil did
Good.
it. The devil did it. Now we can blame the devil. See, that's why I did it.
Yes.
Okay,
Didn't
supportive
even do
parents.
anything. I don't understand.
Supportive
I
parents.
supportive parents. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's awesome that the parents are supportive, but I can't imagine how many kids have to go through that without supportive parents, and
Yeah.
that makes me sad,
Yeah.
especially given the all the bills are going through currently in the Florida House and Senate,
Yep.
and like how 23 states have anti-trans bills, sports bans.
Yeah. So
Stupid,
so put a
stupid.
pin in that because I want to come back to that in a minute.
Mhm.
But maybe before we get to that, the sort of the question that came next that maybe I was less prepared to handle
Mhm.
is one of the set of grandparents is
Oh,
super religious, like
yes.
Mormon-y religious.
Oh, good, even better.
So the question is, right, like, and there have been issues there before too.
Mhm.
And I believe this person sent us a question when we did the Dale McGowan show about parenting, I believe.
Mhm. Okay.
Anyway, right? So now beyond that, like now I have to have this conversation with these people who don't support anything that we do anyway and
Yeah.
are, uh, not great. Anyway,
Anti-cis
all the things,
heteronormative.
all the things, right? So now I have to go to
Mhm.
them and say, listen, here's the thing that's going on with our child. Our child.
Mhm.
We are being supportive. Uh, maybe you frame it as, um, like this is just we're talking about a 4-year-old for crying out loud,
Mhm.
right? There,
Yeah.
this is just a natural curiosity about you know, ex uh expression
Mhm.
and identity, and like we're cool with that. We want them to be able
Mhm.
to, to play. It's I mean, it's play in a lot of ways, but it's
Just let
also
them be
helping them.
themselves.
It's also helping them figure out who they are, and we're okay with that. And you either
Mhm.
need to get okay with that, or
Mhm.
you're not going to be like that is the tough call, or you are
Mhm.
not going to be allowed to be part of their lives, and that's just how it is because
Yeah.
we are being supportive of our child, and if you can't be, then you're certainly, the line is drawn at you are not going to undermine our parenting.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
like you
having
always hear this.
experience with your family, like
Mhm.
and those kind of struggles, I thought maybe you would have some thoughts on dealing with difficult
What?
family.
I think my family's great. I don't know what you're talking about. Um, eh, luckily for me, there's distance,
Yeah.
so I don't have to do anything directly. Like there's no pressure on me to do anything. But um, I don't know. Like you hear about people having these questions about their kids and their parents. Like how do we play this? I've never heard. I never hear follow-ups though, like what happens after the fact. And
Hmm.
I always am curious because I think the advice that you want to give is like this is your kid and you're accepting of them, and if you tell the grandparents that they have to be also.
Right.
Otherwise, you don't see them.
Right.
And I think most grandparents would acquiesce and just be like, "Yeah, sure.
Hey,
I love my grandkid."
let's test the phone lines real quick.
Oh my god.
Let's see if this works. 863.
Oh,
You're on Freethought in Florida. Who's this?
This is mom of the 4-year-old.
Yay!
Mama the 4-year-old. Hi.
Wow,
Hey,
I'm so glad you were able to call in. You can hear us fine. We can hear you fine. This works?
We can hear you. We can see
I
you.
can hear you. I don't know if I can hear Devon though.
Oh, well, bullshit.
You don't want to hear me.
You
You don't
don't.
want to hear me.
Yeah. But yeah, I can hear you, but I can't hear Devon at all.
Okay,
So.
I'll work on that.
But I don't know if Devon can hear me, but Devon,
I can.
if you can, I am
Mhm.
so glad you're okay. I'm glad you're on some serious medication to help with your pain.
Thank you.
Oh, honey, I have been thinking about you a lot. I'm so
Oh,
glad that
no.
you're okay, though.
No one should think about me either.
No one should think about you.
Well, thank you.
Well, I can't help it. Like, we got to know each other over the summer with the quarantine and playing the games and stuff with the groups. And,
Okay.
I'm
think I know
one
who
of those
I'm talking
type
to.
people where I care about people a little bit too much sometimes.
Oh.
And so whenever I hear someone, is hurting or sick or something, I'm like a doer. I want to like try to get out there and help. And
I'm
Well-
dicking around with the settings, so if you at some point miraculously hear Devon, let me know.
Well,
I
thank
can
you.
hear her.
Oh, perfect.
Oh my god.
I fixed it.
Just so
I
exciting.
can hear you.
Oh my god.
Yay!
I love it. Well, no, I'm fine. I know the truck won, but I feel like I gave it a good fight. I look like I gave it a good fight.
I mean,
So
I'm gonna say you won because you're still here. So,
I think I was telling someone.
let's
telling
hope
someone,
the
I'm like, it was a
truck
Dodge
didn't
Ram.
win.
It was a Dodge Ram. I did not dodge, but it sure did ram. So,
You did not watch that Ram, but
whew.
yeah, you definitely won the fight with the Ram.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
I don't feel like it, but thank you.
I'm
So
Oh,
so
man.
mom of 4-year-old.
yes.
We don't even I don't even know how to act with a caller. This is so weird.
This is so new.
I don't know what to do. So the grandparents, do you think they would just say, "I don't want to see my grandchild"? think-
I don't think it would be like that. I think it would be more like being super disrespectful and not using their chosen name or their pronouns, telling them that they're a boy, not a girl, and trying to force them to do and dress like a boy rather than how they, how my child actually feels on the inside. So they're very toxic. They're very they're Mormon, and the grandmother more so than the grandfather. But the grandfather is, a Trumplican and, conservative type person. And but he and I have always gotten along better than my mother-in-law. But yeah, she is a piece of work to begin with. So literally anything and everything that my husband and I have, chosen how we want to parent our children, she will literally go behind our backs and do the exact opposite. and it's like a screw you type of attitude. You know, like, I don't care that you're the parent. I'm going to do what I want.
Oh, well
so
then.
it,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well,
it's
but,
one of
but you're,
those type situations. But my husband and I talked about it earlier, and you know, we're going to give them the opportunity to be respectful. You know, make their own choice in how they're going to deal with the new changes. But honestly, but we did discuss that as soon if we're going to he's going to sit down and talk to them first before we introduce our daughter, our daughter/son, because they have not completely identified as a female. Sometimes we are Spark. Sometimes we are Sebastian. So he's going to sit down and talk to them, and he will get a good idea. If obviously they cannot, just by him talking to them, if they can't agree to it, then they won't be involved, period. So
are you
at all,
prepared for that?
because
Right.
Are you prepared for
we're
that?
going to do what?
And is he
Yeah,
prepared
we're
for
going to
that?
do what we have to do.
Yeah.
He's prepared for the most part. We have really distanced ourselves over the years from his mother, just because she's extremely toxic with me. I literally will not see her or speak to her myself, just because of her toxic, abusive nature towards me. And I haven't seen or spoken to her in a year now, or almost a year.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's something.
yeah,
Do they live nearby? Are they close geographically, or no?
they are. They live about 20 minutes away from us. However, they don't know where we live.
Ooh, don't tell them.
No, we're not, because if we do, she will try to, you know, come over here, and because of her abusive nature to me, it's not safe for me.
Yeah.
So we've chosen not to tell her where we live. So there's very few people that know where we live for so many different reasons. But yeah, no, we're not telling her where we live.
Yeah, that sounds like a good starting protective framework for, like, I mean, you've already set the physical boundary, you know, where if you want to spend time with them, you have to go to a place together. You have to go to them or meet somewhere that's, you know, not their turf. We had to we had to deal with all kinds of things when I came out and transitioned. I've told this story before, the Reader's Digest version. I was completely prepared to lose everyone in this process. Like, I did not know how my family was going to react. I thought for sure I would, you know, lose some. And in the end, I didn't, right? In the end, you know, the boundaries were set that this is who I am. This is my identity, and you can either respect it or this is just how it is. So fortunately, it hasn't, you know, everyone has been respectful up to this point. So it didn't come to that. But also, my wife's mother is a Jehovah's Witness still. And so we expected, like, Becca to be shunned, and, you know, because that's what the witnesses teach, like, you know.
Right.
So we expected that, and that never happened. You know, her mom's still kind of a little wishy-washy about it, but you know, we had to prepare ourselves for, like, this family unit. And the way I thought about it, maybe some people would, like, I don't know, maybe blanch at, but, like, I have more time left on this planet with my wife and my kids than I do with anybody else. I've spent a lot of time
Right.
on this planet with my parents and my sisters and all of those people in my family, and they are very deeply important to me. However, the family that I have created now, my wife and kids, are number one. And if I have to make a choice, if I have to make a choice, you have put me in that position. You have forced that hand. But if I have to make a choice, I'm choosing my wife and kids, and they chose. They had the same position too. So fortunately, it never came to that. But like, we had to go through all of that whole mental bullshit of preparing for that possibility.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not easy.
It's definitely a struggle right now because I know that there's a lot of people that that will have a struggle, and especially at this age, they are 4, and so they're gonna go through. We have a little bit of pillow talk this afternoon when we lay down to take a little nap, and I asked them. I said, "Do you feel more like a girl at times, or do you feel more like a boy, or like a good mix, or like good mixture?" And they told me that they feel more like a girl more often than a boy. And so it was I'm gonna cry thinking about it. My baby.
Don't. If you start, we'll start.
No, don't you dare
do
cry.
it.
Don't you dare.
I'm not my baby told me that when we first started talking after they made their initial random comment this morning while we were playing outside, because it was beautiful out this morning. They told me that just came up and just said, "Sometimes I have a girl trapped in my body," and then just kind of like ran off and continued playing. And I was like, "What did you just say?"
Excuse me?
I've already been preparing for it because, again, like you said, Sarah, this was not something that just like randomly popped up in the last couple of days,
It's sort of been
last
building.
couple weeks,
Yeah.
or months. It's been building for like a year plus. I mean, this is something that has really just been building. They randomly came up with this, altered personality, Sparkles, and just randomly one day said, "I'm Sparkles," and then wanted to wear dresses and wanted to, wear their sister's clothes and things like that, and play with makeup, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with it, at all. But at the time we kind of thought, oh well, he's got, sisters, mom, so typical thing for a kid at that age. These girls, in the home, playing with the nail polish and things
Surrounded
like that.
by it.
Totally fine. Not a problem. Whatever. Love you. You want your nails painted? Let's go.
Right? Yeah.
What color?
Yeah.
And so, you want some lipstick on too? Let's go. What color? We got rainbow colors of lipsticks. Okay. You
Love
want
it.
some whatever. I don't care. As long as you don't need your genitals to play with it, then it's appropriate. Right. So, but then, we were sitting here, so we were prepared. I was prepared. Dad kind of thought it was a bit more of a phase kind of deal, and it very possibly still could be.
Sure.
They are just exploring, what they feel, and that's completely normal.
Healthy. Yeah. Yeah.
And healthy, very healthy, very normal. So, but then when they said that sometimes they have a girl trapped in their body, like, I have been educating myself for a while now. I mean, especially since I'm friends with you, Sarah, and I have other friends that, are non-binary and things like that. I've been trying to educate myself, but I also want to be able to educate my children. you know, like JoJo Siwa, my daughter loves JoJo, and so she came out as gay. Awesome. You know, so I want to, you know, like I want to be able to prepare my kids to love everybody, no matter who they are, what they identify as, the color of their skin, all that. So, you know, just preparing my kids, talking to them, educating myself. That way I can educate them and, you know, have that love, you know, and that positivity. And they, so my child came up to me, made that comment, sat there and talked to you, messaged there. I was like, okay, I need some tips. I need some pointers because I don't know what I'm doing here, and I want to make sure I don't say the wrong thing and mess my kid up. You know, you know, like I want to be educated and make sure that I'm being as loving and supportive as I can. But we were sitting on their bed, and I was sitting there talking to them, and they told me that they answered my questions. You know, I feel like a girl. Her name is Sparkles. I asked them, I said, well, do you feel okay wearing boy clothes when on the days that you are Sparkles? And they told me no, that they don't. They want to dress how they feel.
Yeah.
And wearing girl clothes. So I was like, well, then we're going shopping this weekend.
Yay.
You know, like, I can't do anything about it right this very second, honey, but we are going to go shopping this weekend. So, hey, I will go to every store in Polk County if I got to. Okay. Like, we are going
stores in Polk
shopping.
County?
Oh, Devon.
So we're going shopping. So, but then they said, and can I get a face mask? And I was so confused. I was like, what do you mean a face mask? So I pulled up Amazon and I pulled up toddler face masks. And they're like, no, not like that. I said, oh, I'm sorry. Explain. Explain, honey. What do you mean? I'm going to try really hard not to cry. My baby told me that that they wanted a girl face because they don't look like a girl.
Oh.
And I told them, I said, baby, you're beautiful just the way you are. And you are who you are, and you're beautiful inside and out, and you don't need a new face.
Right.
We can, you know, just my baby felt like they needed a whole new face to feel like who they are on the inside, and it just totally broke my heart.
When you told me that, I was just like, oh my God. Like,
oh my God. I'm fighting back the tears right now. Like, my baby felt like they needed basically like a face off, like you know, just have a complete face. And I'm just like, no, baby, you are beautiful the way you are.
Yeah.
So we're actually gonna have a spa night here in a little bit. We're gonna do showers. We're gonna do mani pedis and do some little, you know, facial stuff and hair.
I love it.
I asked him, I said, do you want, because their dad's been asking them if they want to cut their hair, you know, because it's getting really shaggy. And they're like, no. So I asked them, I said, are you wanting to grow your hair out long like your sisters? Because I have really short hair. And I said, or do you want short like how mommy's is? And they said, no, I want it long. So we're going to try to find some cute little hairstyles we can do.
Love it.
Well, we could try to help keep it out of their eyes and stuff, but make them feel, you know, feminine. So Mom's going to go on Pinterest and look up some cute color girl hairstyles.
Oh,
I
And,
love it. I love it. And I got to tell
You're
you,
doing the right
you're
thing.
yes, yep. That's exactly what I was going to say. You're doing the right thing. Like I started recognizing feelings about feeling in the wrong body, feeling different, during puberty, and so I sure as fuck couldn't talk to my parents about like what I was feeling because I was in that hormonal fueled like, ugh, my parents don't understand me. I'm a
Right.
teenager, blah blah blah, whatever. And if I remember right, and this has been a long time ago, and I have a bad memory, but like I remember going to therapy and having those questions of like, why are you borrowing your mom's bras and things like that, and I felt so ashamed that I couldn't answer the question. I didn't know why. I was just doing it, and something about having that item on felt right. But I certainly didn't have any way to express it. And being a teen, early preteen, whatever, no, that conversation was not going to happen. The shame and the guilt that were associated with it,
Right.
just wasn't happening. So the fact that I feel, I don't want to speak for like all trans people, of course, but like often I feel that, I speak for all atheists. What the hell? No, often I feel that that trans kids trans and non-binary kids who like start recognizing this difference in themselves at the earlier ages, like think of like Jazz Jennings, who was like 3 years old, right? I feel like I don't want to say they've got it better, but like it's happening to them in a time where like in the right environment, play and exploration and all of that stuff is still wide open, and the strict norms aren't so quite forced upon them just yet. So I think there's a benefit,
I apologize if you can hear my crotch goblin screaming.
Here.
That's okay.
Dad is supposed to be in there with them, and someone's having a meltdown. So I apologize. But yeah, no, I grew up, attracted to mostly female, and I come from a very conservative family, very Republican conservative family, and I was taught at a very young age that was not okay.
Yep.
And I was kind of, pushed more to starting to sexualize boys at a very young age to try to for them to basically try to get me away from
get the gay out of you.
liking me. Yeah, to get the gay out of me.
Yeah.
So, I've been on a, huge exploration over the last several years of, trying to put a label or figure out what I am. And so it's been, and I've kindly just decided that screw it. I'm not putting a label on myself. I like people.
Yep.
But I remember growing up and feeling those feelings of disgust and guilt and just feeling like there was something wrong with me, and I had no one to talk to.
Yeah.
Nobody. And I went through such a hard depression. I tried killing myself.
Oh my gosh.
Aww.
And I decided that whenever I was a parent, I would never, ever, ever make my children feel that they were any less than the perfect human beings that they are.
Mm-hmm.
They are, I mean, they're not perfect, nobody's perfect, but they are perfect in their own beings.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah.
They are who they are, and they love who they love. And so with that being said, I'm really proud of my oldest daughter. She has been using proper pronouns. I sat down and talked to her today.
Oh.
This is all today, Devon. This is all today.
This is
all today, girl. All
Yeah.
today. So it's It's been
been
a really
day.
roller coaster emotional day for me.
Yeah.
So I sat down and talked to her, but because I've been kind of already talking to my children about things pertaining to the LGBTQIA plus community and things like that, educating them, she's been using proper pronouns and using her chosen name. I slip up we've been slipping up every so often.
Sure.
Today it's been, but we catch ourselves and we correct ourselves.
Yep.
But she told me, she said she used the wrong pronoun earlier, just like I did, and she looked at me and she said, "This is hard. I'm sorry." And I said, she got really upset. Like she had done something wrong. And I'm like, listen, honey, no, it's not hard. This is all new for all of us. And so we're going to just work on it together. And I talked to my other child here. And I said, please be patient with us as we will correct ourselves, but please try not to get angry. We love you and we support you, and we will try to remember, but they told us that sometimes they do feel like a boy. So I told them, I said, well, would you mind at least letting us know who we are to, that day?
Yep.
So while we're waiting for them to get into that habit, I'm going to, ask, good morning. How are you who are we today? Are we Sparkles or are we Sebastian? And so, it's gonna be a journey, but it's gonna be a beautiful journey. There's gonna be a lot of ups and downs, and I'm so grateful that I have so many wonderful friends that I have made over the last 2 years in our atheist community, and outside of our atheist community, especially with like Mama Rose, and because I know that that's going to be a really great, her organization may end up being really great.
Yeah.
Thing for us to explore later on when they are older. And so, but in the meantime, I know that I have that great support system that, I can ask the questions, I can talk to you guys, I can try to figure out what's the best course of, if I'm not educated, I want to make sure that I'm educated so that I can be the most loving and supportive parent, because I do want my children to be able to come to me and tell me how they feel and be able to be open. And I feel so emotional today because I feel so privileged that my child, I don't know if that's the right word, but I feel good knowing that my child felt comfortable telling me how they felt. And with all the crap that I've been through the past year, Sarah knows, that made me feel validated as a parent that I'm at least doing something right.
Yep.
So,
I think you've got your head on right here. I think you're doing all the right things.
I think you're winning parenting, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure.
At parenting.
For sure.
I'm not gonna cry. It's not a thing that I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try not to anyway.
Okay.
But she's, my child is such a beautiful person, and I love them so much, and I want the world for my kids, and I want to make sure that no matter what, that they know that they have a mom. Dad is very supportive. I talked to Dad earlier today, and he has been very supportive. But, I can't speak completely for him, obviously, because he's his own person. But at least for myself, I want my children to know that they have a mother a rock that they can always come to to feel like they always have that constant
Absolutely.
person in their lives that no matter what will love them and support them and be there for them and help fight any battle that they need help fighting. And I know that there will be some, especially with all the crap that's going on in the world. And, you know, I've been paying attention to all this new crap, all this new laws and everything else. And honestly, it terrifies me. You know, I'm sitting here debating, should I bother putting my child into public school now? You know, I don't want them to end up being, I don't want to completely shield them from the world, because that's not going to be helpful. But, you know, I also don't want, I want to protect them as much as I can. And, you know, that I mean, I've got a little while at least, but, you know, it's definitely a thing that, with what's going on right now today, how people are treating trans kids and non-binary kids, I'm just, it makes my mama heart hurt, and it has made my mama heart hurt even before my child came out. So, you know, I just watch, and I'm sitting here, and I mean, I've adopted some kids on TikTok. I joined TikTok to help with my mental health, because you know, God help me. And you know, but I've met some really great people on there. I've met some parents of really amazing, some other really amazing supportive parents of transgender kids and non-binary kids. Actually, one of our trans kids just had top surgery Wednesday, and so that's been a huge, like, yay. We're actually we still gotta sit down and make our get well cards and send to him. But you know, I've been talking to them as well, and you know, because you know, they came out, you know, some of them came out in their teens, their preteens. Some of these kids came out earlier. And so, you know, I've been talking to some of these parents and kind of getting an idea and things like that. And so it's been really nice, to be honest. It's been a really great support system there. But I've also been watching, you know, the struggles that these kids are going through, and oh my gosh, my heart just...
Yep. Well, that's a good place for us to diverge here. I think we're gonna let you go, and we're gonna talk about some of that bullshit that's going on. But I want to close with that. I think you're doing the right thing, and
you're winning.
Yeah, you're winning at parenting, and I'm happy to be on your team and supportive and helpful with your kids. We're a pack like that. You know, we talk about like mama bears, and like we're
tribe.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, reach out anytime. You know, you can. Don't feel bad about doing it. I may be asleep, but you know how to get a hold of me. And we'll come together and do the right things and keep fighting the good fight. And let us know how the whole religious conversation goes, the religious family conversation goes.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout. I know you're on my Facebook. Be on the lookout. I'm sure there will be a big Sparkles reveal coming next week. Later this
Sparkle
weekend.
reveal party.
Yay, I can't wait. Oh, I love it.
It's awesome.
So it's fun.
All right, well, you have a good night. Thanks for calling and being our first caller and letting us test out the thing. Yay!
Good time.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.
All right, have a good night.
You too.
Go play with those kids. Yeah.
That's adorable.
I love it.
She's doing everything
She's
right.
doing the right things. Yeah.
never married.
So there were a couple of things that came out of that I was thinking of while she was talking. This fear of people that like, oh, the trans thing makes it, to people who don't get it, right? To people that struggle with it, or maybe they can take the first step, right? The trans thing kind of makes sense because if it's a binary transition, right? I was identified as male at birth. I transitioned. Now I identify as female. It's still one or the other, black or white. This is how it is, right? But a lot of these people, and this comes up when we talk about this bullshit sports stuff, in the bathroom bullshit stuff of like, oh, well, if they're just going to wake up tomorrow and decide, oh, I want to be a girl today, then I can go into the restroom with the girls and whatever.
No
like,
one does that.
No, first of all, no one does that, but also like kids like this who do feel more, and in the terms of a 4-year-old, more boy one day and more girl another day, or before noon and afternoon. Like those feelings can change like that.
Oh yeah.
And when you map that on a scale of like, maybe for older people, like I feel more masculine today. I feel more feminine today. And maybe maybe it is an identity switch. Maybe it is, I want to be addressed as female when I'm feeling this particular way, and male when I'm feeling that. Who the fuck cares? Like, why is that such a big deal? Just do it. Like, okay, fine. You tell me today, this is how I want you to address me. This is who I am. I'm going to present whatever.
It affects no one else but that person.
Yeah.
No bearing on anybody else's life.
Yep.
It drives me nuts, the opposition.
Yes. Well, let's jump the line here and talk about the Florida legislature and where we're sort of ending up here. So we were also talking about like just in legislatures across the country right now, the number of anti-trans and specifically anti-trans youth bills.
Specifically that, yeah.
Like we talked about, so after House Bill 2 in North Carolina, the bathroom bill that kicked this whole fucking thing off. Texas followed that up very quickly with Senate Bill 6 that year. And then again, like things kind of quieted down, and it was more of a national thing about can trans people serve in the military and stuff like that. And now we're back to like the state level. And so we talked about this kid on my other show when all of that happened back during the North Carolina, Texas bullshit. Kimberly Shapley's child, Kai, is a trans 4th grader in Texas, testified before the Florida Senate, and is now getting death threats. A 4th grader, y'all. Fourth grader.
9 years old. 9 or 10. Yeah, come on, guys.
And this kid started like testifying and being involved in like explaining what their identity is and how all of that works since pre-K. Like they have been, as a child, have been involved in trying to educate the adults in the room since pre-K, and now
no one listens to them.
No,
it's infuriating.
And this is a religious family, mind you, right? So this kid, quote in the paper is, "God made me. God loves me for who I am, and God does not make mistakes." Like when you come from that worldview,
yeah, that can be applied. Both sides use that argument.
Yes,
like, God doesn't make mistakes, so therefore, when He made you a girl, He meant for you to be a girl, not a boy. Whereas you can say the reverse, like, well, God made me to question.
Right, and you can't call up God and be like, "Hey, settle a bet for me, bro." Like,
I mean, we've all tried that, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
So yeah, the uptick in anti-trans bills, it's sad and it's disgusting to listen to, and they couch it as like it's women's rights, or protecting women and girls. It's like,
right,
don't use me, do not use me as a shield. Screw you.
Yeah.
So
maybe this is a good deep dive for a later episode, but like when all of that went down, we looked into, there was a really great article in Time or Newsweek or something. I don't remember what it was now, but about like the history of sex separated restrooms.
Huh.
To
It-
start
Yeah.
with. Why the hell did that become a thing anyway?
It
And
was all like community restrooms at one point, right?
surprise, surprise, it had to do with women entering the workplace. And
Oh.
you know, the men felt that the women folk needed a, you know, a private place to, you know, whatever.
They take
and
too long.
like that, but that's, yeah, it goes all the way back to that. And
Mhm.
it's dumb. It's stupid.
It's really dumb.
It really is.
Yeah.
Build the stalls,
It's-
Florida. And this is the thing, like in your, and I know bathroom bills, not even there is actually one I saw it pop up in my news feed yesterday,
Really?
but that's not even the hot issue right now. But still, like in Europe, you restrooms, floor to ceiling, doors, stall walls, all the things that don't have the issues. Like if you're worried about someone like peeping under the bottom of the thing,
way safer in those ones than the ones we have.
right? Yeah.
God damn.
Anyway,
We don't bathroom right here.
the other one was the Parents' Bill of Rights, and I was thinking about let me see if I can find that article that I had. The Haines City kid. I wish we knew his name. He's a minor though, so they didn't release the information. And I just shared this earlier today. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, we have to talk about Caitlin too. I didn't put her on the list. This is gonna be a late show, y'all. Devin, you okay?
I'm hanging on.
Okay.
Just gonna keep switching topics.
If you need to tap out, I'll call for backup. Where the hell is it? I know I shared it. So the Parents' Bill of Rights we've talked about. It's passed both houses now.
Be signed into law.
It will be signed into law, absolutely, for sure. There is not a doubt in my mind. So maybe I shared it on our page and not on my timeline. There was a kid, and I know this has been brought up in the public testimony too, so it's not like I'm not dragging out anything that's not already known.
Yeah.
Evanald Jolmius is a parent who suspected his kid was gay, and so took him right down the road, y'all, to the Haines City Police Department, dropped his kid off on the side of the road at the police department, and was like, figure it out, kid.
That's how you parent. Just let them figure it out on their own.
Right. So the problem with this bill, like, all of these people come at it with the idea that, like, all parents are us. We're like, oh, we're all good parents and we're all doing the right thing by our kids and all of that, whatever. But we have to face the reality that there are parents who are not us.
More than you'd think. More than you'd like to think.
Yes. And even a lot of those parents who think they're good parents and are doing right by their kids are not.
They're the worst.
Right. So if you open up a law where I commented this on the Ledger and nobody commented on it. But somebody did go back and forth with me about, like, oh, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about all you fags and queers on the Facebook or whatever.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, it was great.
Dude.
So this bill, like, if your kid finds a trusted adult at school and has a conversation about, oh, I'm queer, then they're required to report that to the parent. Whether or not the parent is a good, like, provider or not. Yeah. You have the parent has authority over their child.
The parent requests that information, it has to be revealed.
Right.
And what the sponsors did say, like, during testimony, is like, no, this isn't going to happen. This isn't going to force this upon anybody. It's like, I don't know. I can read. You can read. What are we missing here? Like, where's the
right?
There's something missing in this language. But But they said in their words, like, this is not going to happen. We won't out kids. Kids won't be outed to family members. It's like, well, we're going to hold you to that.
Right.
Not that anything's going to happen to them, because they're off in their own little fairy tale world. But yeah, they said this isn't going to happen. It absolutely is going to happen. It's happened before. It's going to continue to happen. So,
Yep. It's super frustrating for me because like becoming foster parents and all going through all that process is like super daunting, and all the home checks and all that. You and I can go screw and have a kid and nobody cares. Nobody will come to the house and check on anything to make sure that the TV stand is attached to the walls and won't fall on the kid's head or something. Like none of that happens. But if you want to adopt a kid or become a foster parent, holy shit. You better check all those boxes there. So like there's a big part of me that's like, dude, if you're going to drop your kid at the police station for being gay, like drive the 2 more blocks and just bring him here, because I want to, like, I would love to be able to provide a safe place for these kids when their parents are assholes and throw them out.
Totally.
Anyway,
totally. Yeah. And this is terrible of me, but I'm always like, whenever these legislators are talking about how this will never happen, blah, blah, blah. I want their kids to be the ones that comes out to them. Like, how are they going to react when it happens with them?
Right.
And it's like, it's too late. They're going to have a change of heart and be like, oh, I was wrong, but it's going to be too fucking late. So.
From the chat, Ali says, for the caller, thank you for being a phenomenal mom. Because of your openness and support, you are raising phenomenal humans who will be able to love and accept themselves from an early age. Hard agree. And Rigo said, is this like the atheist experience or different? Just curious. Maybe I'll start making this disclaimer every week. Different.
Oh, no.
Here's the thing. I don't give 2 fucks about the Kalam cosmological argument.
Fuck no.
I don't care about the free will debate. I don't care that Devon's video keeps going. Actually, I do kind of. Actually, I like seeing the little Satan image that pops up every time Devon's video goes out.
I'm so angry.
I don't care about free will. I don't want to argue about any of that. That's not my thing. Like that's just not my thing.
Nope.
I want to talk to people like our previous caller who like has real life shit going on that we can maybe talk through and help. And if we're even if we don't provide any help, like you got it out and maybe you feel a little better. Like that's the kind of shit I'm into.
Spill the tea, people. Do it.
So if you want to call and not debate, 253-900-2272. I mean,
I don't want to debate ever.
I don't want to. No, I don't either.
No one wins.
But maybe debate is not the word I'd like to use, because I don't like to debate either. But there is a opportunity for conversation, for discourse. Like maybe you have questions about these bills that are going through the legislature, and you want to ask us because we're reading them. Like the actual bill is filed.
We actually know quite a bit about this shit.
Yeah.
Sadly. But only for 1 more week.
So like that's the other thing. The sprint is almost over.
They're doing a special session after though in May.
Yeah, can we talk about that, because that pisses me off too.
Yep.
Like we'll have a special. So what's the special session? Set it up.
It's about gambling.
Right.
Setting up gambling in the state of Florida. It involves a pact with the Seminole tribe. So they're going to call everyone back May 17th to come back to Tallahassee to figure out gambling.
Now I'm going to channel on Askamani a little bit here. We
Please
could have.
Do.
What you're saying is this is something we could have addressed during the regular session, right? But they chose.
Yes.
They chose instead to talk about like trans kids playing sports and parents being able to own their kids, and like moments of silence in
prayers before
in
football games.
Prayers before football games. This is what we've decided.
This is what we did
to focus on.
Breaking up unions.
Right.
It's going great.
Right.
No, this is what they focused on. But now they're going to have to bring everybody back in May to talk about this. Another thing is that they could have called a special session last year when we were in the middle of a pandemic and our unemployment system was like completely shut down. They could have called a special session to work on things like that.
Right.
They did not. And we are still dealing with the consequences a year later. So they stupid jerks up here in Tallahassee, they just need to get together. And of all the things to have a special session over, gambling, who cares?
Right.
Who cares? No one.
Not when, again, we're in the middle of an actual legitimate worldwide pandemic. The unemployment system is busted.
Yes.
People are still without jobs. People are still struggling. There are like minimum wage job sort of places that are offering fucking $500 hiring bonuses to get you to come work at the McDonald's or whatever.
The checkers and stuff.
Because they can't get you to, wherever it was. Because they just can't get people.
Yeah. People can't work. People can't survive on,
we
full
got
time.
problems here. No, we got problems here. And instead, we've chosen to address all of this like red meat, like howler monkey bullshit.
That's a phrase that they've used a lot this year. Red meat.
Yeah,
I love the fact that they do, because it's exactly what it is. It's what the conservatives jump on. They chow it down. They chew it up and spit it out. They just love it.
Yep.
So yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand the logic. And to quote Michelle Rayner, Rep. Rayner, make it make sense.
Yep. Yeah.
Please
make it make sense. So we said Parents' Bill of Rights is going to go through. Moment of silence is maybe I want to address something. There was a Twitter conversation, and God, if you follow me, first of all, understand that I'm not a Twitter person. I'm a Zennial.
Tweeter.
I do Facebook, and I struggle on Twitter. Like that's how Twitter works for me. I just struggle with it. I do a fucking show that's scheduled for an hour and a half, and regularly goes 2 or more, because I need more than 120 characters or whatever it is to say what I have to say. So
shows a thread.
Right. Yeah, but then I have to like figure out where to cut the line, and it sucks. I don't like it. Okay.
So much thinking.
Okay, so there was someone who commented on. So I posted. We'll get to this later, but I posted our press release for Secular Week of Action, and someone commented. Eric commented, we need some attention on this bullshit, and shared an Orlando Sentinel article about the Florida legislature approving moment of silence to start public school day. And I said, well, we've been ringing that bell. We've been beating the alarm bell on that since it was filed, all throughout the session, that and the Parents' Bill of Rights, though perhaps admittedly not as strongly on Twitter, because that's not my thing. And they both passed despite tons of opposition. Like lots of people came and spoke in opposition.
A lot of people.
But still then not surprising. Okay. Several other states already have basically the same version of this moment of silence too. Several, in the teens, I believe. So Eric says, okay, but how does that not violate the Lemon test, since the original text of the bill calls it silent prayer? It has no secular purpose, and it's clearly entirely motivated by a purpose to advance religion. So I think my non-Twitter answer to that, my more than 256 characters answer to that is, so the bill as is enacted right now, the law of Florida,
the statute,
does
1003.45.
You didn't hit your head too hard. Good to see.
Look at that number in my head.
It does talk about silent prayer.
It does.
It's in a section entitled "Teaching the Bible in Public Schools" or some shit.
Permitting the teaching of the Bible in religion in schools. Permitting a moment of silence.
So yes, it is religious in nature, and we all get that.
We all know that.
However, what they did was, in this version of the bill, there is a lot of strikeout language to the existing statute that takes out the words prayer and that sort of thing, and like really waters it down to so that if you were to present it before a court and say, we took out all the prayer and religion stuff, and now it just says a moment of silence to begin the day, and the student and their parents should be deciding how to use that time in the best way for that student. It's not about prayer. Like, they really did the legwork to make it look like we all know what it is, but they did the work to make it look like that's not what it's about.
Yep.
And so, yeah, this thing goes into effect, and it's in effect in teens of other states. If you want to take it to court, and they're going to go, okay, first of all, the courts have said lemon schmimmin. They don't care about the lemon test anymore. But if they did, they would say, okay, what is the secular purpose? Well, the secular purpose, it's stated right here in the law, the secular purpose is to provide students with some quiet time in the morning to, reflect on the things that are going on around the world and center themselves and be focused for the day ahead. And that's all it's really about.
Whatever.
Right?
It's like a gateway drug. Georgia has a nearly identical law currently as what we're about to enact. There's no mention of religion, no mention of prayer, nothing. It's completely generic. And then they just try to pull a real doozy this last year and put a legitimate Christian prayer in its place.
Yeah, like word for word written into the bill. And we read that on the show. Eric's last comment that I haven't responded to yet is, I'm struggling to get it. I didn't know that the state could get away with violations of constitutional rights simply by clever wordplay and avoiding using words like prayer, when the end result is we instantly have millions of children praying in this new, quote, moment of silence. Yeah, well, that's what it is, bro. Like, sorry, man, that is... This absolutely
is how it is.
What it is. We all know what it is, and yet, yeah, some clever wordplay can make it look. And I commented this in our private group earlier today. Like, I'm torn between, I don't want to be that, like, oh, you're using your child to make a point or whatever kind of parent.
Yeah.
But also, our 10-year-old is super activist-y, and if the idea were even presented in minor form to him, he would grab it and run with it. But let's give this kid a pentagram prayer rug and a little Baphomet statue and some candles to go set up on his desk during this moment of silence and kneel on his little prayer rug and pray to Satan quietly. And as the bill sponsor said, as long as it's quiet.
Yeah, there are no others. There's no guidelines. There are no guidelines. There's nothing.
Yep.
But
if I did that. See, there we go. If my child did that, it would be, oh well, you have told your child to go be whatever.
You're influencing your child. Yeah, I told my son about it because he wanted to know why I was always like on
angry
TV or whatever. I was so angry. And he actually said something to me like, are we supposed to pray in schools now? I heard this. And I was like, well, kind of, but not. So I explained it to him neutrally, and now he's like, don't worry, Mom, I'll take care of it. I was like,
oh, shit. Yes. I cannot wait I'm going to set up a Google alert.
On the first day of school.
July 1st, this will go into effect if signed. And so next school year, look out.
It's gonna be a mess.
Anything else on the wrapping up of the Florida legislature?
I'm
gonna try to bounce through some couple topics quickly.
It's just really depressing. Like, we've done all we could do.
Yeah.
A lot of the trans sports ban likely won't happen because the ATP'd it, temporarily postponed it in the Senate, and Stargell made a comment about she respects the dignity of each person, which was bizarre and makes me think someone got to her, but she pulled the Senate version even though the House version passed. Today, the reason ban for abortion passed the House. That was also really...
This was the one that's about genetic defect or whatever. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So it was a really great showing by the Democrats. Let's say it that way.
Right.
They did what they could do, and they just don't have the numbers. And that's how it is here.
Yeah.
So but yeah, just
Well,
like a few more days of session. And we're done.
Speaking of the anti-trans bill, there's an
Mhm.
article in LGBTQ Nation about the White House warning about all of these anti-trans bills. Let me just read through it.
Bring it.
The White House warned states that are considering anti-transgender bills this year that those bills are illegal under federal law. The president believes that, quote, the president believes that trans rights are human rights and that no one should be discriminated on the basis of sex. Not only is this the law of the land, it's his own deeply held view, said White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki during a press briefing. I'll take a pause here to note that I can't remember the name of the case. Sorry, Andrew.
Bostock?
That yeah, sure, that was it. Bostock. Yeah, that sex
There's the employment.
discrimination. Yeah, the discrimination based on sex includes sex and gender.
Mm.
Yeah, thanks.
I knew it.
You get the points with Andrew.
Gold star.
Psaki was asked about President Joe Biden's views on the dozens of states that are considering anti-trans laws. According to HRC's latest count, 37 bills have been proposed in state legislatures that would ban transgender girls and women from playing in school sports. Mississippi's anti-trans sports bill has already passed the state's House and Senate. This is on March 8th. It's a little outdated. And expected to be signed by the governor. Washington Blade reporter Chris Johnson asked Psaki about Biden's views on that legislation, and she first specified that Biden has not actually talked to any state legislators about anti-trans bills directly. She then brought up Biden's executive order that he signed on his first day in office that said that federal civil rights legislation that bans discrimination on the basis of sex also bans anti-LGBTQ discrimination. So a lot of this would just be solved if we could just pass all the Equality Acts and the employment, whatever, non-discrimination stuff.
Are we going to do that?
Because there's two ways to interpret the Civil Rights Act of 1964, right? There is the language of the law, the letter of the law. And so those people wrote, this is your originalism, those people wrote race, religion, creed, blah, 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 blah. And that's what they meant. And if they had meant gays and transes, they would have written gays and transes, right? Or there is the intent of the law, which is to put Devon's Satan screensaver. Or there's the intent of the law, which is that if you should not be discriminated against on the basis of belonging to a class of people, period. Whatever that class is. We shouldn't have to enumerate them all individually. And so, unfortunately, the courts are right. Jesus Christ, how many categories we're going to write down? But the courts have decided so far that, like, nope, well, that's how it was written, so that's what it means. So our options are either change that perception in the courts, which isn't going to happen, or fine, if that's how we're going to interpret it, we'll go back in and write gender identity and sexual orientation and furries and like whatever you want me to write. Like whatever category you want me to write, we'll just write all the damn categories down.
If I wish they would sometimes. Just leave a blank space. Just leave a nice little blank space.
We've been trying to add sexual orientation and gender identity, both at state levels across the country and at the national level, and it just keeps getting shot. Keeps getting shot down.
Damn it, we don't even have the ERA ratified.
Right? It's 2021, y'all. Holy shit.
Get it together. Get it together.
Anyway, yeah, you can expect a lot of these, I think, to be challenged in light of Bostock. And it'll be interesting to see, how that all shakes out.
But like you said, it's red meat, so it's something that they can fight over.
Yep. And
it gives them press, good or bad.
Yep.
And therefore they can go home to their constituents and be like, see, I fought for family values. Our conservative family values. I fought for you all.
Right.
Yeah, and they'll win again. So
yes. Next, let's talk about this church money.
I love church money.
So the Freedom from Religion Foundation has fired shots across the bow of FEMA. recently announced FEMA mega giveaway to a Florida church is unconstitutional, according to the Freedom from Religion Foundation. FEMA has reportedly approved a grant of, let's count the commas, $1,973,993. $1,973,993. It's a weird amount too. Like, why isn't it an even
taxes on that?
An even number? To Highland Park United Pentecostal Church in Panama City, Florida.
There's not even that many people in Panama City. Come the fuck on.
Well, here's what happened. Apparently, we're reimbursing damages resulting from Hurricane Michael. The grant includes funds to repair the church's sanctuary, fellowship hall, cafeteria, classrooms, and other facilities, and has been lauded by a politician of such prominence as Senator Marco Rubio. So here's the thing. We said when Trinity Lutheran happened, and
stupid playground.
For those of you who are behind on that, it was, we want to participate in this city or county or whatever program it was that's providing this recycled tire material shit, recycled rubber to pave our playground. We want to be a part of that. And the municipality said, yeah, but you're a church, so no. And the court was like, yeah, but see, this is a secular purpose. This isn't part of indoctrinating or educating religion or whatever. This is a playground. Come on, it's just a playground.
It's just a playground.
It's just a playground. And
but what's the sanctuary of that Panama City church? Is that also a playground?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sanctuary, fellowship hall, classrooms? Those are not just secular purpose playgrounds.
Classes? Can we hold classes there?
I'm telling you, so. If there is money being given to churches for whatever building, whatever, like, where's the Satanic Temple? Lucian, where you at?
Damn. No, I think that we should be allowed to use those parts of those buildings that got the PPP money or the FEMA money. Why not? I mean, those places smell funny, though. Yeah. Churches have a weird smell that I don't like.
I haven't been in a church in so long.
It's a very distinctive smell. It's I don't like it. However, I'll tolerate it just to be able to use a classroom for my special classes.
Right.
Of whatever I feel like teaching.
Yes.
So
here, FFRF says a grant used to repair and renovate substantial portions of a church's building, including the sanctuary, promises to do exactly that, which is to violate the free exercise clause. So awarding these funds violates the Establishment Clause of the First Amendment, while denying them does no harm to the church's free exercise rights. Here's the thing. Like, does the church not have enough money? Are they not getting, like...
Maybe they should have shut down. Maybe they just should have shut down. Perhaps. And gone somewhere smaller. Or something. I don't understand. Right. Those buildings are huge. Huge.
Yeah.
And it's like 80% unused. So... raging.
Yeah, like, I think of the little church that I grew up in, and I wouldn't, like, if there needed to be repairs or whatever's, like, we would have had a building fund drive. Like, that would have been we would have gone to the I almost said constituency. We would have gone to the
congregation.
Congregation. Yeah, that's the word.
Close enough.
To raise money to do the repairs or whatever. Also, BT dubs. Having family in the ministry, one thing that I've noticed is that if once you get to a church of certain size, and not that big of size, you sort of inherently have all the things that you need in the congregation. Need your air conditioner fixed? You got an HVAC. Yeah, exactly.
You got a plumber there. You got a carpet installer. You've got everything.
You got all the things
you possibly need.
Yeah.
Come on, and and those people will do it for free.
Yeah, they will,
because that's like their way into heaven. Good deeds, y'all. Good deeds.
All right, well, let's put
So,
that to
yeah.
bed. Stop funding churches.
I wish they would.
The next thing I want to talk about, just super briefly, because I don't want to get too political. Not political. I don't want to get too partisan. But I'm a trans person, and I have to say this. Caitlyn Jenner, don't run for office. Stop it.
Come on.
Stop it.
Come on. Why? Reality stars should not be on.
Didn't we learn anything in the last?
Nothing. We've learned nothing. So is she actually going to run? That's the thing.
It seems like it. I mean,
didn't she kill someone in her car? Was that her?
She did hit somebody with it. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know the whole history of it, but I know when she came out.
I'm against her. Full on against her.
Oh my God.
No.
I know that when she came out, like that whole thing got dragged back up. So anyway, for those of you living under rocks, Caitlyn Jenner is launching her bid for California governor, which, let's be honest, the idea of like celebrity running for California governor is not all that. It's not a stretch after you have Arnold.
Ronald Reagan.
Right. Yes, exactly. Yeah. If you're gonna do it, California's the place to do it.
Absolutely.
But like, here's the thing. There was after she came out, right? She had that whole show, and I think a lot of us, we wanted her to succeed. Like, as a prominent trans figure, like we wanted her to just go out there and be like,
happy.
Yeah,
successful.
Be happy, successful. Like she was an American icon in Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And like, wow, you have this great opportunity to like go out and be an ambassador to the trans community.
Absolutely.
And she's such a what are the words?
I can think of a bad word to use. I don't want to use that.
All opinions expressed on Freethought in Florida are of those the individual and not of the representative organizations they represent. Whatever. She's
a traitor.
She's crazy, like Trumplican. And I only say that to say that, like, during this show that she did, right, she was, like, super supportive of the administration and all of the things that they were doing, including shit like, hey, trans people can't serve in the military. And so all of her friends were, like, all of her friends were like, Caitlyn, girl, you can't, like, you can't do that. Like, you are now a spokesperson for the trans community, whether you like it or not. You are a media figure. Like, people know who you are. You have a huge audience. Like, you can't do that. You can't be this person. You can't support these people who attack our community on the daily.
Yeah.
And I mention that only to really say, like, there are some other people that I know personally, trans people, trans women, who it seems like when they transitioned, didn't quite lose the white male privilege that they had previously. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Didn't quite lose the wealthy white male privilege. That's Jenner's issue. But for the others, the white male privilege, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're a trans woman, and we all accept you and support you and see you how you are. But how can you still support the politics of these people who are finally the people who are pushing these anti-trans youth whatever bills? Like, how can the cognitive dissonance in your brain has just got to be like,
I don't get it. It's like log cabin Republicans during the Trump era, or even Republican atheists. Like, how are you supporting Trump?
Yeah.
How? Explain me more.
I would love to go while we're in like partisan land here. I would like to go back to the days where, like, we agree that this is a problem. We just agree on how to address it or how to get to the solution. Like, Boy, do I miss
Oh.
those days. Like, we at least exist in the same universe.
Yeah, I get it, but at the same time, I kind of like knowing who people really are.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I
I'm
agree.
glad I know. I'm glad I know how bad some of these people are.
Yep.
So I can avoid them.
So anyway, the end of that story is Caitlin. I know you watch the show.
Obviously.
Don't. Just don't. Please don't.
Run. Please
Just don't. Yeah, just don't.
Yeah. Well, I think even when the transports ban was going through, Chris Latvala, who is he's a representative here in Florida, very conservative. His father was put in jail or something. I can't remember, but he was also a representative or a senator put in jail for like fraud of some sort. I don't know. But this guy's kind of a prick. He's in the video that I put together. But he tweeted something out. He's like, listening to all these Dems cry over the transports ban, I wonder how they'd really feel if Caitlyn Jenner ran for governor. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. That makes no sense. You don't vote for them because they're trans. You vote for the person that is going to best suit your, best represent you.
Right.
And I don't think Caitlyn Jenner represents very many people.
No.
So.
No. Certainly not me as a trans person. I can tell you that. Like, not that I get to vote for her, but like.
Yeah.
No, not. I mean, and not unless she has changed in drastic ways since her like coming out Call Me Kate TV series.
Yeah.
But I can't like, and I know people change all the time, but like I don't think she has. Hey, let's do that video. I need to pee, so let's set it up. It's a 6-minute video. That ought to give me enough time.
Okay.
Go ahead and set up this video that we're about to watch.
So, there was a House Education Committee this past week. They were voting on this bill called Materials Harmful to Minors, something along those lines.
AKA sex ed is bad.
Sex ed is bad. So the original, the meat of the bill was that we are going to become an opt-in state for sex ed. So we would be like with Utah, Mississippi, and Nevada.
Great
so
company.
Kids would have exactly. That's what we want to be with. So we would actually Floridian parents would have to opt their child in to get any type of sex ed.
Right.
No one's going to sign that permission slip because no one's ever going to see it. So, and we also have very terrible like STD rates and whatnot, STI rates. So we kind of need the sex ed. So that was the original plan of it. And it was also like all sex ed curriculum would have to be transparent. It have to be available from the website. You would the board would meet every year to show people what the.
Now that part of the bill, I'm kind of for, because let me tell you, when Jim Helton first came down here and like he was working for American Atheists at the time and like was building these local groups, trying to get people interested in building local groups. That's what really got us started into creating the atheist community of Polk County. And his whole thing was really him and his daughter about comprehensive sex ed. That was sort of where they cut their teeth in the movement. And so we were like absolutely all for that as being, something we were interested in. So we reached out to our school board. And they told us, like, oh, sure, just come on down to Bartow, which is like, I don't know, 40 minutes from here, to the administration building, and we'll let you look over, the curriculum and whatever. Like, you can look at all the whatever. And it's like, going into it? Is that like going into a skiff? Like when Congress has to go like review the Mueller report or whatever, like you can only go in 2 at a time, and you can't bring your camera, you can't take pictures, we can't make you copies, but you can come look at it. Are you kidding me? It's 2021. Send me a fucking PDF for crying out loud.
Seriously. And I think, like, from our side of it, we want to see this curriculum because we're an abstinence only. They teach abstinence only here. Yeah. So I kind of want to know what they're getting.
I definitely, and as parents, you and I, we definitely want to know what our kids are being.
Absolutely want to know.
Hell yeah.
So anywho, there's a big hubbub, a lot of opposition to the whole opt-in thing. So the sponsor changed it into opt-out.
Which is what it currently is.
Which is what it currently is, but there's also stipulations like it has to be within the first 10 days of school. You have everything has to be explained to parents in
And
writing.
still the notification thing. Like I should be
Notification's
able
still
to
there.
go on our county website, our county school
find-
district
yep.
website, and find the curriculum.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
for that.
So this was the final, I believe, stop for this bill in
Yeah.
House committees, and the Christians showed up in full freaking force.
This is the Christian Family Coalition? What are they called?
Christian Family Coalition. They came
Okay.
up to oppose the crap out of this bill to a bunch of Republican reps who side with them on everything. And the exasperation is just beautiful.
And I mean, like, when you go to do these things, and we've watched you go and testify before committees on these bills, it's like, and here is Devon Graham, the atheist, the speaker for all of atheism, right? And here is John Harris, who is the speaker for all of queerness, and
big gay.
And these people are like, and here's 12 people from the Christian Family Coalition who would all like to speak.
They
So many people.
20-some people in this small room. Because we're limited by how many people can go in because of COVID.
Right.
Keep in mind that the Catholic bishops support this bill still. That was one of the supporters. I didn't leave that part in, but the Christian Family Coalition, no.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna play this whole thing 6 minutes. I'm not
It's
gonna
kind of funny.
I'm not gonna start. We'll come back and we'll talk about it afterwards.
Okay, I'll be quiet the whole time.
Here we go.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the bill has morphed into an opt-out.
I was in charge of over 400 Marines in the medical field. When we went abroad, one of my studies to them was, hey, syphilis exists. Pornography, not syphilis, gonorrhea. That was sex education.
Material, it was 6th grade. The material was too much. It was pornographic. It was inappropriate, and he was not ready. And once that door was opened, that was a door that wasn't closed.
We are not only accountable for what we tell these vulnerable, innocent children, we are responsible for the seeds, we plant in their minds for the rest of their lives.
Current curricular sex ed classes are contrary to what we believe is God's best for our children and grandchildren.
The true ulterior motive is to broaden gender beyond male and female and to eventually line the pockets.
Ma'am, keep your comments to the bill, please.
Current curricular sex ed classes are contrary to what we believe is God's best for our children and grandchildren. For decades, much of what's been taught in sex education classes should probably be entitled How to Have Sex. Acceptance of homosexuality and abortion are often the goal of these lessons, and now they're rolling out this gender identity as the next move.
Say right now, reading, writing, and arithmetic has nothing to do with, anal sex.
This was one of the bills that y'all strongly supported, and now you are here telling us to vote against it. Don't you find that a bit disingenuous?
Anal sex.
The cognitive dissonance is difficult for me.
Anal sex.
Sat here for the past, it feels like about 30 to 45 minutes, just utterly confused by the concerns and arguments against the bill as proposed.
Which of these two options is better for you?
You're recognized.
I am just going to decline. I'm going to say I oppose as is. I oppose as is.
All right.
Anal sex.
If I don't opt out, if I somehow miss it, he's getting that education. Where if I must opt in, and then and he will not get the education if I don't opt him in. So
is that a good thing? Do we want...
In concept, it's a great thing. They
won't
do it. They won't do it.
Imagine with what sensitivity a single father would speak to the daughter he cherishes, wanting so much that the gentleman who desires her would treat her with respect, devotion, and commitment. Imagine a mom telling her son that any act outside of a loving marriage makes a lasting imprint on someone else's daughter and takes a piece of her heart and soul forever.
I showed any pictures. I was going to show a picture, excuse the anatomy, this medical terms, of a genital area, and I'll tell you right now, if that didn't convince them, I don't know what would.
I feel like someone has sold y'all a bill of goods and asked you to come and vilify a bill by a very conservative member of this house who cares very much about children. And you came and you kind of vilified a very caring panel of members who all agree with you.
Or should I do that because it's the right thing to do?
It's not the right thing to do to put the government in charge.
I want to encourage everyone who came up here and listened to that organization to really double check the information that organization is sharing, because I've lost complete faith that they are dealing in good faith when communicating with their members. I'm disheartened by what's gone on today, and I'm going to have to do an incredible amount of praying and soul searching to come to peace with the fact that this occurred today.
And can I get an amen?
Bow with me as we pray together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven.
Anal sex.
Jesus Christ, that was so good.
Anal sex.
Anal sex. So that's a supercut that you put together.
I did. I realize there's a mistake in it now, but it's okay.
Whatever.
I
had the call number thing up on the screen right here during the whole thing. It wasn't on the right layer. It got all fucked up. So whatever. It's all good.
Whatever. It's fine.
What was your hashtag? Christian family butt stuff?
Christian family butt stuff. I just love every person that went up to speak, and I didn't get all of them. They were all true treats and treasures. They were hysterical.
No, I'm not suggesting that we register ChristianFamilyButtStuff.com and do anything with it. I'm just saying.
No, you're not.
I just looked and it's available.
Does it go right to the Christian Family Coalition's webpage?
Anal sex.
Anal sex.
Anal sex.
Pardon the anatomy, the genital area.
That was so weird, Devon. There's so much in that. There is so much.
I should put a trigger warning for anyone that grew up in purity culture, because that was some of the stuff was intense. I was like, this is too close.
Yeah, too close to home.
Too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Christian family butt stuff, guys. Let's get that trending.
And pardon the it's medical terminology, genital area.
Genital area. It's like,
oh my God.
They got syphilis. Gonorrhea.
Well, now to his point, what he's trying to say that he just couldn't say very clearly, that I will on my third rum and coke say clearer than he did. That is the kind of sex ed that I got as a kid with my uncle, the PE/health teacher. okay, kids, we're going to look at some slides today. Here's gonorrhea. That's what it was. Here's the drip. Here's the clap. Here's all the gooey things that you can get if you have sex. Now, don't have sex. Yeah.
Yeah. And he kept on going on about how condoms were just not effective. They just did not work. I'm like, well, if you're using them wrong, yeah.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So, oh, God, that was an amazing
early on in that, there was a clip of a woman that was like, and if we can't like opt them in or if it's opt out, then they're going to get that education.
You know, if I don't opt them in, they will not get that education. It's like, honey, I think your kids need that goddamn education.
Yeah. And again, like
that education.
I'm sorry, I present this as a public health issue.
Mm-hmm.
Here's like, I don't know, I've talked about this before. I won't go on for too long, but like Sarah's position on comprehensive sex ed that is age appropriate and medically accurate and all those things, and inclusive of gender identity and sexual orientation. It's a public health issue because my kids who are getting sex ed, whether it's at school or not, and this goes back to that whole thing about like, oh well, parents should be teaching their kids a burp.
Don't.
Do you remember in 1952 when your dad set you down on the other side of the bed and was like, son, do you know about the birds and the bees? And it was real fucking awkward, and you walked away knowing nothing more than you started the conversation with? That doesn't work.
Yeah, it does not work.
That doesn't work.
Telling your kids just to wait till their wedding night is just the worst possible thing you can tell them, because they're not going to.
Right.
They ain't doing it.
Right. And if they do, like, you've set them up for like
the expectations.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, yes, we should be teaching our kids this stuff, because here's the thing. Even if you feel kind of weird or icky about it or whatever, like my kid might end up dating your kid, and
oh jeez,
and my kid's gonna know what he's doing, like, and I want your kid to know what she's doing too, like, because I don't want them to be passing around diseases and shit. Like,
seriously,
this is about public health. This is about basic education.
Exactly, about your own goddamn body. It's the
Again,
thing that you have with you all the damn
we
time.
don't let you opt out of learning about your vascular system or your muscular system or your whatever system. Why is the reproductive system any different? It should not be.
Exactly. Because it's dirty.
Because it's dirty. Because we feel some kind of way about it.
It makes me feel funny on the inside. Yeah. So that was so insane. But it's a bit of an up. And this on an upswing. Those same people showed up to the Senate, the final Senate meeting for it.
Oh.
And they supported the bill.
Interesting.
Interesting. Indeed.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know what happened, but it's okay by them now.
You know what happened.
Closed door meetings.
Yeah. Guys, seriously, we need to like start teaching our kids about their bodies. This is basic common sense. Come on, quit it. I have two more topics that I want to get through before we wrap up here.
Okay.
Thank you all for like hanging in for the long show again this week. At least I'm not reading from the education standards like I did last week. That was bad. I read them last week. Allie and I I read through them. It was awful. I want to talk about Richard Dawkins.
Screw him.
There. All right. Next topic.
Done.
Here's the thing. Richard has caught some shit in the atheist community, and here's the thing about the atheist community, if there is such a thing.
All of us.
We agree about one thing. Do we believe in a God?
Negative.
Nope. And that's it. From there, we diverge. We are Republican, we're Democrat, we're independent, we're liberal, we're conservative, we're gay, we're straight, we're you pick a thing, and we are on that spectrum somewhere very different from each other, right?
Absolutely.
And so, let me see.
What did Pope Dawkins do this time?
Pope Dawkins. Let me. Oh God, I gotta find the tweet now. He made a tweet that was about the trans community. And I thought I had printed it out, but I didn't.
Like, pretty much he compared it to someone coming out as trans.
Rachel Dolezal.
Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
That's not a thing, but sure.
Right. And for those of you who don't know, Rachel Dolezal was leading a chapter of the NAACP and identified as black, but isn't. Basically, that was her.
Aryan.
That was her deal.
Yes.
Let me see. I want to read the tweet. In 2015, Rachel Dolezal, a white chapter president of NAACP, was vilified for identifying as black. Some men choose to identify as women, and some women choose to identify as men. You will be vilified if you deny that they literally are what they identify as. Discuss. And he throws that discuss at the end as like an academic, like,
I'm so smart.
Let's have discourse. First of all, nobody goes to Twitter to have discourse.
I don't engage. I do not engage on Twitter.
No,
Twitter not engage. Rule number 1.
No.
So yeah, that was not meant for a discussion.
Right. So that's apples and oranges, right? The Rachel Dolezal thing is completely different from trans people. That's apples and oranges. And then where I sort of, I don't know if I fall apart from the community, there has been this ginormous backlash, and rightly so. Fuck this guy for getting it all wrong, right? And
this isn't his first gaffe.
No, it's not. And I want to talk in a minute about like heroes and hero worship in the atheist community and how stupid that is.
Hate it.
But like, dude was wrong. Now, full disclosure before I go into this next story, we both are representatives of organizations that are you a chapter or an affiliate?
We're a chapter, I think.
You're a chapter, I'm an affiliate of the American Humanist Association. I'm a board member of the Humanist Society, which is a sub-organization of the American Humanist Association. This is a statement from the American Humanist Association. April 19th, 2021, established in 1953, the Humanist of the Year Award is conferred annually by the American Humanist Association, recognizing the awardee as an exemplar of humanist values. Communication of scientific concepts to the public is an important aspect of advancing the cause of humanism. Richard Dawkins was honored in 1996 by the AHA as Humanist of the Year for his significant contributions in this area. Regrettably, Richard Dawkins has, over the past several years, accumulated a history of making statements that use the guise of scientific discourse to demean marginalized groups and approach antithetical to humanist values. His latest statement implies that the identities of transgender individuals are fraudulent, while also simultaneously attacking black identity as one that can be assumed when convenient. His subsequent attempts at clarification are inadequate and convey neither sensitivity nor sincerity. Consequently, the AHA board has concluded that Richard Dawkins is no longer deserving of being honored by the AHA and has voted to withdraw, effective immediately, the 1996 Humanist of the Year Award.
Good.
Discuss.
I'm okay with this. Like I feel like this is something, if you asked me with the way I felt about my life a few years back, I'd be like, no, he earned it, derpy derp.
Right.
No, not now. He screw him. I also don't idolize Richard Dawkins. Like I don't.
Right.
I know we're going to talk about this a little bit, but
yeah.
He didn't convince me to become an atheist in any way, shape, or form. It wasn't because of him.
He wasn't part of my journey at all.
Me neither. The Four Horsemen, not at all.
Nope, none of them. So here's where maybe I diverge from everybody else. And this point has been made, and the atheist community loves to fight itself. Like there are I mean, Hement has put out some articles in the Friendly Atheist that are just, here's a list of atheists on this side, and here's a list of atheists on the other side, and we love fighting about shit. We're good at that. But again, nobody is a monolith. Like, we don't all line up behind the priest. So, I feel like I probably come down on the side of stop prior to that last paragraph. Stop at, the American Humanist Association or American Atheists or whatever group publicly rebukes Pope Dawkins and shame on you, how dare you.
Yeah.
I don't know that, like, hey, we awarded you a thing in 1996. And now we're 1996. I was a junior in high school, Devon. 1996. And now we're going to take that away. So, like, does that mean we're going to go through all of the recipients of every award and go, like, how are you today? Are you better today or are you worse? Like, are we going to go through that? Or do we look at these awards and say, in 1996, you were representative of humanist values and were doing the right thing. Now we're going to release a public statement that says you fell off that train.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, for example, I have here the 2019 Adopt a Road Group of the Year for the atheist community of Polk County.
Yeah, you do.
We added Oscar ourselves. But isn't this the cutest little award? It's a trash can
adorable.
for our Adopt a Road.
It is adorable.
Anyway, like, so wouldn't it be silly if, like, in 2036 somebody came along and was like, oh, we're going to take that away from you for XYZ reason? I don't know. I feel some type of way about that.
But at the same time, for me, it's just an award. I don't think Richard Dawkins is like, I got the AHA Humanist Award 96, haha. I don't think it means that much to him, so I don't see why he would care.
Right.
But I see your point about, like, stopping after the first paragraph. Like, we admonish this asshole.
Right.
He's a jerk. Fuck his face, whatever. So, yeah, like, he's not a humanist. Most people that claim to be humanists that are, like, in the upper echelons are not humanistic.
Yeah.
At all. So, yeah. I don't know. It's also.
I know. I'm sort of torn. Like, I don't know.
It's not like it's the Nobel.
And also, it's the American Humanist Association can do whatever the fuck they want with their awards. Yeah. Like, it's nothing to me. I mean, yes, I'm a member of the AHA, and I'm attached in all of these other ways.
Yeah. But I mean, it's their choice. They can do it. It's a private organization. They can do what they want.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I feel like there have been a lot of people who've won awards like that who are unworthy of them now, based on how things have turned out in their lives.
So that takes us. Let's use that into the next piece of that conversation, about this fucking hero worship that the atheist community sort of broadly gets into. Like, you mentioned the Four Horsemen. Yeah. Okay, look, there are some prominent people in the quote unquote atheist community, that, like, okay, maybe they've had a profound impact on your journey. There are a few that have notable audiences and platforms. But never have I ever looked at any of them and was like, oh, you're representative of the atheist movement or the atheist community or me or whatever. Like, I just, again, I frame this in terms of, like, politics, right? Where I've talked before about what we saw in the last primaries was in the conservative side on the Republican Party, you had like 19 fucking candidates. And then when one dropped out, the people that were lined up behind that person went and lined up behind somebody else. And at the end, there was one person standing and they were the grand poobah and everybody lined up behind them.
Yeah.
And that's just not me. That's authoritarian. That's just not, I don't go that way. And I think a lot of non-religious people also tend to fall into that. But also there's a big segment of our community that that does fall into this hero worship thing, like
Oh yeah.
oh Seth Andrews or
Mhm.
whoever, like
Yeah.
and they're great communicators and they're doing big great things for the community and the movement and the conversation
Yep.
and whatever, and I
They
think
do
that's
wrong, though.
great.
They do
But
wrong just like everybody else.
The minute you put somebody up on a pedestal, like
They
you
fall.
have prepared for them to fall. Yeah, and they
They
will
fall.
disappoint you.
Mhm.
Sam Harris. I was into Sam Harris once upon a time. Sam Harris is problematic.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, I wouldn't
So,
hire him
yeah.
as a postdoc in my lab. I don't get it. I don't get the whole Four Horsemen thing.
I don't
I know they brought a lot of people to atheism, but I
Right.
don't understand. No interest
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, the hero worship thing is weird. It's just like an extension of Christianity or of religion. Just like, well, I had someone I looked up to. I had Christ or whatever,
Yep.
or Joel Osteen, whatever. and now I need that to fill that void in my life.
Right.
And I think that's what people want a leader. They want to know that someone knows the answer. Someone knows
Right.
what's going on. What are the next steps? We can go ask so and so. I get it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think that comes from our religious upbringing? Like, do you think it'd be an interesting study, right? Are people who grew up non-religious
Mhm.
less likely to fall into that hero worship stuff than people
Yeah.
who were used to looking up to a pastor or a pope or a
Mhm.
whoever as a leader figure? I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder too. I don't know if we have that kind of data,
Mm-hmm.
but I would be interested in knowing that. I think that you're indoctrinated from the start with religion to always have someone up on a pedestal. Someone's always going to be
Right. There's an authority and you
Mhm.
defer to them, and yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna guess the data would show that it would be more likely that ex-Christians or ex-religious people would want those idols or follow those leaders. But
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't think there's also that many non-religious people from the start who were raised non-religious.
Right.
There's not all that many.
Not as more and more with each passing
with each
generation.
generation.
It's getting
Yeah.
that's getting better. Bigger.
Thank the sweet baby Jesus for that one. But
That's where I think like the movement of free thought comes in, right?
Mhm.
The idea that you are free to think for yourself and not follow authority or dogma or doctrine.
Yeah.
That is a valuable way to approach the world.
Yeah. Totes me goats.
Anyway, don't have heroes. They will let you down. And the end.
They're dumb.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, we're all people. Like, Richard Dawkins is just a fucking dude. Like, he's just a
senile
dude.
one at that. A very senile one.
Yeah.
The guy's no.
Anyway, so that's Dawkins v. AHA. And again, like, I think my final come down on that is whatever the AHA wants to do with their policies and their awards and their whatevers, like that's cool with me. I may have not made the same decision in their position, but hey, I'm not in their position. So
But it could
There you
also
go.
be they made that decision because he has sullied the humanist reputation for so long, the atheist reputation. Maybe this is kind of their way to signal this is enough.
right.
Saying we disagree or
Right. At what point, yeah, how much do you have to do? Like, how far do you have to go to have an actual
consequence?
Yeah, right. Impact,
Yeah.
consequence. Right.
Maybe, and I think this may have just been the last straw for them. And that, I think that's where I'm going. Like, this is they probably thought about this before, and at least
Mhm.
they can now say he's no longer affiliated with us.
Right.
We've taken that away. Therefore, there's a clean break. And consequences be damned. We're going to lose money for this. They may get more money.
Well, that was they may. That was a consideration that came out of this too. I couldn't tell you the name of the super rich dude that was like, "Well, I'm
I
not
know.
gonna." Huh?
I saw the post too. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know this person? Do you know anything about him?
I don't know him, but apparently.
Yeah, I don't either. But apparently, a very wealthy AHA donor was like, well, I'm not going to give you any money anymore because you Dawkins.
Oh well, go give it to Dawkins then, dude.
Right? Like, I get all of our organizations are nonprofits. We're all like struggling for the money. We all operate on donations and grants. And we're not rolling in money. Like, we don't pass the fucking plate around. Like,
Yep.
We don't do that. So I get it. Anyway, at the same time, do you want me to read Allison Gill's response, the American Atheist Vice President? I love Allison too. Vice President for Legal and Policy at American Atheist, Allison Gill, a trans woman. Oh, my people. Released the following statement. I love her. The progress of science has helped us better understand who we are as trans people. As the American Psychological Association notes, many experts believe that biological factors such as genetic influences and prenatal hormone levels, early experiences, and experiences later in adolescence or adulthood may all contribute to the development of transgender identities. We need science communicators like Richard Dawkins to put in the time to learn this information and then communicate it clearly and accurately to the public, not reinforce dangerous and harmful narratives put forward by the opponents of equality. Trans people are under constant attack across our country, implying that our identities are somehow fraudulent, and questioning whether we even exist dehumanizes us and helps justify this violence. In 2020, HRC reported a record number of fatal attacks against trans.
Dead.
Yes, a record number against trans and gender nonconforming people, the majority of whom, of course, were Black and Latina trans women, the most at risk. Given the repercussions for the millions of trans people in this country, in this one life we have to live, as an atheist and as a trans woman, I hope that Professor Dawkins treats this issue with greater understanding and respect in the future. If he has questions, I'm happy to help. I like that. That is a rebuke. Again, I just don't understand the award. But like, here's a public rebuke of a dude who's gone off track with a call in. Like, we're calling you in, bro. We talk to me. Like, I'm happy to tell you why you're wrong and help you understand these issues and learn. So I like Allison's approach. I'm partial to Allison too, but
I do love Allison. She's fab. She's great.
I should also note we are both affiliates of the American Atheists, and Devon Graham is
everybody. Because of that, because of our
director,
our
yada,
whoredom,
yada, yada.
Our whoredom of affiliations, we have no idols.
Right.
There'd be too many otherwise.
Right. We belong to everyone. Everyone belongs to us. We are the Borg. Resistance is futile.
It's true. I even get that reference. It's
wow.
It's from Star Wars.
Oh, I hate you. The next time you disappear from the screen, I'm just going to leave Satan up there.
Okay.
And then the final thing I wanted to talk about, again, it's almost 9:00. Thanks all. And thanks, Devon, for sticking it out through the...
Hey, this is...
You
fine.
need to take medication or anything? You good?
I'm not taking anything now. I'm good.
Okay. So I want to talk about Secular Week of Action. We've been talking about Secular Week of Action a lot the past few weeks. It is coming up. It starts on the 30th. And the atheist community of Polk County has like several events that are happening in conjunction with this. So it kicks off a week from today. We have like our normal events are Street Warriors, where we're out feeding people who are experiencing homelessness. The Backpack Program, which supports students at Caldwell Elementary School who are food insecure, gives them food for the number of kids that go home on like their last meal is at lunch on Friday at school, and then they don't eat again until breakfast at school on Monday. It's fucking ridiculous. So we support that program. And then our food pantry, It Takes a Village, which is a coalition with the Unitarian Universalist congregation in Lakeland and Red Tent and Rose Dynasty Foundation, that we do a lot of work in that coalition. which is also serving food insecure folks throughout the county who can't get to a food pantry for one reason or another. Like we talked before about people who've lost their jobs and they can't afford gas and they've got their car repoed and like shit. This has
The
been
cycle continues.
been a shit year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So those are things that we do ongoing that are weekly or bi-weekly, things that we do pretty constantly. But also we have a couple of events that are sort of specific, special to this. On May 1st, which is Saturday, we're kicking off a billboard campaign. I should have gotten the graphics ready to throw up on the screen, but I didn't. So we're kicking off a billboard campaign. There are 3 designs that say let's see, is it on our thing? On our countdown screen, yeah. It's sort of our motto, right? Which is good without God, fellowship without faith, and community without church. And really that speaks to the idea that, like, when people leave a religious belief and come to the quote-unquote atheist community, the thing that they report missing the most is a sense of community. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the intention of the billboard campaign that we're running is to sort of signal that message to it also builds on our mission of changing the perception of what an atheist is. And sort of talks about that, like, if you're out there and you're a non-believer and you miss that sort of community and camaraderie and fellowship, there's a community here for you, and you can come here and we'll welcome you. But also that, like, hey, those negative stereotypes that people have out there about us, you're wrong. We are good people. We're your neighbors. We're your coworkers. Like we exist in reality with you, and you don't know it because we can't be out about it because of the negative stereotypes. It's this self-perpetual machine.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what the billboard campaign is really meant to do, to sort of educate the public about who we are, and also signal to other non-believers that, hey, there's a group out here that you can come be a part of.
Because there's always someone who cannot find the group.
Right. Like how many times do you get that call of, like, oh, there's nobody in my area?
I didn't know there was someone here. It's like, honey, get online, girl.
Go to Google, type in
Google
where
us
you
on
are,
Yahoo.
atheist community, secular community, whatever. So that's the billboard campaign. We're gonna kick that off on May 1st. That's when it goes live. We did so I will say we did Blip billboards is the program we're using, and they do it's digital billboards. Right?
Is it rotate or something?
Yeah. So like every 7 or 8 seconds, depending on which location it's at, it will cycle through our billboard with others, and
let the other ones be a church one.
And we did that. One of them, I don't know if I selected that one yet. Anyway, we did that because I don't like to talk to people on the phone, and Lamar Advertising owns every legacy billboard on the whole goddamn country.
They sure do.
If you want to talk about a company having a monopoly, Lamar. Advertising. So anyway, I don't like to talk to people on the phone, and we would have had to do that a lot. So I went with this company where I can just upload my graphic files and pick my billboards and say, here's how much I want to spend per day, and go. Here's the dates. So that's what it is. Nice. We've got one in Winter Haven. It's right around the corner from Legoland. Nice. So that's a pretty high traffic one, and then the other one is in Highway 98 North in Lakeland. So, on May 1st, we're all going to gather at the one in Winter Haven for some donuts and to try to get a photo op when it comes through the rotation, and get a group photo. And then we're gonna do a blueberry U-pick afterwards. Right across the lake is a blueberry farm.
I love blueberries.
And we did that was one of the very first events that the Atheist Community Polk County did, like social events, was a blueberry U-pick. So we're gonna do that. It's in close proximity. And then on Tuesday, I believe it is Tuesday, I will be giving a secular invocation at the Polk County Board of County Commissioners meeting.
Ooh.
This is something that I do every year,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe we can talk a little bit about invocations too, because in the beginning, I was
God created
not.
the heaven and the earth.
In the beginning, I was not a big invocation person. Like that
Yeah.
was just not my thing. Like I didn't see like the point. Like who cares? We shouldn't be doing any of them anyway. I don't get
Agreed.
to like. There's no invocations before I start my day. I just punch the
Just
clock,
go.
grab
You don't
my
need a
radio,
moment of
and
silence.
go. Right. And so then I realized over time that if I don't do them, then they're all Christian. And so it's a good opportunity for us to go in and like remind our representatives at local government that they represent a constituency that is diverse and broad and includes non-religious people. And remember that as you're setting policy for the city or county or whatever it is you're doing. As I just spilled my drink all over myself.
Oh, the worst. The worst.
As Becca just shakes her head and leaves the room.
Just gonna get some towels.
So, anyway, she brought me a towel. Oh, you're the best.
Aww.
So anyway,
Hi,
so what was I talking about?
Invocations and
Yeah.
you do them.
So at the beginning, I didn't think like it wasn't my thing. Like I know there are groups that do them a lot, and but it just wasn't my thing. And so then I realized that no, there needs to be a secular voice in that arena to sort of counter the constantly Christian prayer that's offered. And so the way
usually
the
explicitly Christian prayer too.
Yeah, very explicitly Christian prayer. And so the way that the Polk County board operates their selection, they send out a message, a letter in like November for the following year, and it's first come first serve. You respond like once you're on the list, you respond and say, "Oh, I want this date," and they plug you in first come first serve. So my first choice is always this particular week because Thursday happens to be the National Day of Prayer.
Nice.
So that's Thursday, May 6th is the National Day of Prayer. And so that's really why like the Secular Week of Action is organized around this particular week because of the National Day of Prayer. And we've been trying to get them to pass a resolution for the National Day of Reason, which never goes anywhere. But anyway, so I always pick this week as the week that I do my thing so that I can bring some awareness to the secular community. So that's a thing that I'll be doing.
It's good timing there.
Mm-hmm.
That's good timing. Yeah, we haven't figured out what we're doing with our group yet. It's a little slow going. Slow going up here. It's okay though. Session took a lot out of me this year.
Yeah, you've really been focused on things in the legislative spectrum. But being in Tallahassee like that, you can't avoid it.
It's what I got to do. It's what I got to do. So,
yeah.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. What else have you got going on? Anything exciting happening?
Just
healing.
You're healing. Just healing right now. Trying to remember what I do on a daily basis. Yeah. Just getting ready for next session. Gonna start on that right away.
Let's take a moment to talk about that because there is we're doing some work in the off season.
We're doing some off season work.
We're gonna talk about that.
Should we?
I
don't know.
So there is maybe I would say a lot of we've been learning a lot about the legislative process in general.
Yes.
And also about like public opinion and
optics.
Optics. That's the word. Public education. And so when we think about like bills we might want to see, bills we might be in favor of, like productive bills that are that aren't just us saying, "Hey, don't do that." but us saying, hey, do this. This would be a positive for our state.
Put us in the driver's seat for once.
That cannot start in
November.
January, November. Yeah. Right. Like if
Once
you
bill
wait,
filing season open.
if you wait until legislators start filing bills, too late.
Yeah.
And
they've already been filed.
And
they've already been drafted.
Yeah, they know what they're going to do. And even if you have that stuff lined up with legislators ahead of time, so much of it is about public support. And so we're looking at ways for, like, how can we educate the public about issues that are of interest to us, about things that we think the legislature should consider. So no spoilers tonight, but be on the lookout. Like, those are some things that we're going to talk about in the coming months ahead between the end of this session and the beginning of next. We're going to talk about some things that, the bills that we think should be filed, laws that we think should be enacted, things that will be beneficial and helpful to Floridians. So look forward to that coming up.
And I think it would also be, I've been thinking about this a lot, about how we as atheists are perceived. Like, once people know that American Atheist is behind that, it's just going to go to hell. But we are building coalition with other groups that do have, like, the name recognition and are, people aren't going to roll their eyes automatically once they hear those names.
Right.
So it makes me think a lot about normalizing atheism. Obviously, that's what I'm big on. But also just, like, getting out there and letting people know that we care about stuff too, and we're just not angry. The angry atheist stereotype. So we want to be productive members of society as well.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a lot of growth on our end this year.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for some positivity. I'm excited for like offense instead of defense. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think there's good things ahead.
Totally. It's gonna be good. All right then.
So, do you have anything else going on in the next couple
I don't
of
think I
weeks
have
or
anything
whatever?
else going on. I'm sure I do, but I'm just not thinking of it right now.
You're healing.
I
have a couple of things coming up I can tell you about. So I'm going to be a guest on the Gayish podcast. I was on Gayish it's been a month or so. Mike and Kyle are the hosts of Gayish, and I love them very much. They're a great podcast that you should listen to. Their whole thing is like sort of breaking down stereotypes about LGBTQ stuff, and how we do or don't fit into those stereotypes at times. And it's a really good show. So you should check out Gayish. We're going to talk about trans things. I think they're going to like ask me all the questions you should never ask a trans person.
So one chance.
Yep.
The one chance to do that.
And we almost always end up talking about church state stuff because it's just so close to, like,
it's pervasive.
Whenever the LGBTQ community is under attack, where's it coming from?
Religion.
Oh, I didn't hit the bell hard enough.
Shit. Religion.
And I'm also going to be on the Sacrilege podcast. That'll be my first appearance on Sacrilege. So I'm going to be recording both of those this coming week, and then I'll report back and share those when those episodes get released.
Have your book report ready.
Yes. So that's it.
Nice.
How are you feeling?
Right.
Are you okay? You doing good? We went long. We went long. I feel bad.
I'm a little bit tired, but I'm good. I'm still upright.
Okay.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
All right. Well, tune in next week at 6:30 Eastern, 3:30 Pacific for Freethought in Florida. I don't know what we're doing next week. It'll be a big surprise. I know that Deborah is working on a 2-parter for sometime in May.
Deborah.
where we're going to be talking about like death and dying as a secular person.
Ooh. Okay.
So that'll be interesting because it's very different from your religious upbringing. Anyway, so stay tuned for all of that. But that's it for this week. Freethought in Florida is available on YouTube, Facebook, and all the popular podcast players. You can find the subscribe links at fif.show and send us an email to info@fif.show. Please like, subscribe, and share out the episodes. Help us reach a broader audience. And don't forget to pray for Devon as she recovers from her tragic injury. And of course, remember the 3 most important things. Wash your hands, wear your mask, and be kind to each other.
Nice, everybody.
Be safe. We'll see you next time on Freethought in Florida.